Ideal gas law. You're going to be using the ideal gas law to solve for your unknowns in these 5 questions. The ideal gas law is in your reading material, and it shows it here as PV equals nRT. This is the formula for the ideal gas law. So what this tells us is that if I take the pressure times the volume, it will equal the number of moles times the temperature times R, which is the ideal gas constant. And for what we're using, since we're going to be using atmospheres and liters and Kelvin, our constant for R is going to be 0.0821. So every time you see this capital R here, you'll always plug in 0.0821. So again, my formula, pressure times volume equals number of moles times the gas constant times temperature. And we want our temperature in Kelvin. So if you do end up with a temperature in Celsius, make sure you add 273 to it to get your Kelvin temperature. So let's do the first one together. I know that my formula is PV equals nRT, so I'm going to write it down. And then all I have to do is plug in the numbers that I know to solve for the one I don't. I know P, pressure, is 1.01, so I'm going to write that down, 1.01, times V, well V I don't know, so I'm going to leave it as V, equals N. N is 0.00831 moles. R is my gas constant, so I'm going to use that same number each time. Remember, 0.0821, 0.0821 times temperature. Now here my temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, but I know I need it in Kelvin. So I'm going to add 273 to my Celsius temperature and get 298 degrees Kelvin. So I've plugged in my pressure, I don't know volume, number of moles, R for my gas constant, and T for temperature, making sure it's in Kelvin. And then all I need to do is solve for V. So in this case, I will multiply these 3 together, and then since I don't want this over here on the same side with V, I need to solve for V. I'm going to bring this to the right-hand side of my equation. It's multiplying now, so when I bring it to the other side, I need to divide. So I'm going to bring this to the other side and divide. So in order to solve for V, plug these into your calculator. This times this times this divided by 1.01, and you'll get your answer for volume. When you do the next one, again, same thing, plug in all the numbers you know and solve for the one you don't. 2 through 5 are going to be the exact same way, except now it's in sentences and you will have to hunt for the information that you're looking for. So here I see 2.10 moles, and I know that number of moles is N, so I'd plug in 2.10 as my N. So always look for what unit goes along with which number. Your pressure for this worksheet is going to be measured in atmospheres. So when you see atmospheres, that's pressure. Volume will be in liters. Number of moles is just the number of moles, and temperature should be in Kelvin. If it's in Celsius, add 273 to get it back into Kelvin before you plug it into this formula. So plug them in to the formula. I really highly suggest you write out the formula every time. PV equals nRT, write in the ones you know, and then divide to find your answer after you've multiplied these out. If you do still have any questions about the rest of these after you've set them up, if you don't know what to do from that point, do please ask.